Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a treat for you tonight. It's our pleasure to welcome once again to our stage Carolyn Cruso. Come on up.
Thank you. It's great to be here. You're a small but mighty audience. I'm going to play a song that I wrote quite a few years back, and this one's called Cloud Break, and it's for that time after a storm when the clouds break open and the sun shines through. And here it is. Thank you very much. So for those of you who might not be familiar with this instrument, it's called a hammer dulcimer, and it has its origins in a Persian instrument called the santur, which is over 2,000 years old. And you can find it in many different cultures around the world. This is the American version, the hammer dulcimer, and you can find it in the Appalachian Mountain region. And more recently, in the last 30 or 40 years, it's spilled out into beyond those boundaries, and we can find it all over the country. And let's see, I'm going to play a set of traditional tunes for you next. These are from Scotland and Ireland. With a little intro that's got a kind of a flamenco feel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As Kevin said, I'm Carolyn Cruso, and I live on Orcas Island, and it's great to be down here in the Seattle greater area, Puget Sound area. I come down about every 2 weeks. I teach in Seattle at Dusty Strings. So if you ever want to learn how to play the hammer dulcimer, you can talk to me during the break. This next one was written by my good friend Doug Birch, and he lives out in Lansing, Michigan. I met him in Boulder, though, when he was living there quite a few years ago. And this one is called The Ocean of Wisdom. And he's a beautiful player, very inspirational, very lyrical, and I've been really inspired by his work. Thank you so much. See what I mean about Doug and his work? Nice, really nice compositional and style. So I'm going to switch over to guitar. Sing some songs for you here. So this is a song called Evangeline. I wrote this a few years back, and it's a true story. I was out on the road on a 4-week tour out in the Midwest, and the last night, my last show in western Minnesota, I had a gig where I met a woman, and she said, "So you're headed back to the coast?" And she knew I was going to be headed out on I-90. She says, if you stop in Billings, could you say hello to my son for me? And I thought that was a little bit of a strange request, but I figured, you know, I'm a minstrel and that's part of my job description, so that's what I did. And the message had a little bit of a convoluted path, and I almost got into some trouble for it, but I didn't. It actually worked out quite well for me, and here's how it worked. I met her one autumn in West Minnesota, out on the plains with the sky and the corn. She said, if you were headed on off towards the coast, would you for me to my son please say hello? What's his name? She said, Richard. Well, he lives there in Billings. He works at the Quick Lube at the truck stop and grill. I said, if I pass through, I will bring him your greeting. What is your name? She said, Evangeline. Whoa, Evangeline, Evangeline, bringing your message across the high prairie. Oh, Evangeline, Evangeline, tidings of good news is what you bring. I set out the next morning across North Dakota, hightailing it towards home. After 4 weeks on the road, I stopped for some sleep and woke to the setting sun. Ain't in the badlands or the magic's begun. Well, I drove till I could drive no more. Lonely rest stop, oh, the stars galore. I woke to the dawn. I drove through the pink, headed beach towards Billings by guts and instinct. Oh, Evangeline, Evangeline, bringing your message across the high prairie. Oh, Evangeline, Evangeline, tidings of good news is what you bring. I pulled into the Quick Lube, figured I'd get my oil changed. I asked after Richard, they sent me his way. I said, I have a message from your dear mom. Well, he looked at me funny, but I just pressed on. Oh, what happened after that? Oh, yeah. Well, he looked like maybe he was too old. And he pointed behind me to a much younger mold. Well, I realized that the first guy, well, he was the son's dad, which meant Evangeline was the wife he once had. Oh, Evangeline, Evangeline, bringing your message across the high prairie. Oh, Evangeline, Evangeline, tidings of good news is what you bring. Or maybe he left her out alone on the plains. Or maybe he felt bad and here was his chance. Oh, to make it up to her by treating me well. That new oil pan to me cheap did he sell. Oh, Evangeline, Evangeline, bringing your message across the high prairie. Oh, Evangeline, Evangeline, tidings of good news is what you bring. Tidings of good news is what you bring. Oh, tidings of good news is what you bring. Thank you so much. Kevin, could I have just a little more vocal in the monitor, please? Thank you. Well, here's one called Where Does the Love Go? It's about how love often bewilders us when it suddenly seems to suddenly disappear. Wounded you walk weary under layers of varied strata. Your bed of self-deception that laid your heart in tatters. The reds and the browns and the corals, rocks eternal rainbow. These are the very colors that draw me to you. It's just a shame it has to hurt so. Where does the love go? And why can't we follow? Tell me, where does the love go? Where does the love go? And why does it so often have to turn to sorrow? My gaze, it falls on the garden that no one sung to sleep for winter. Gone are the orange pumpkins and the fragrant leaves of minto. Gone are the shouts of triumph, voices filled with so much mirth. When we dig for our potatoes, they were just little treasures from the earth. Where does the love go? And why can't we follow? Tell me, where does the love go? Where does the love go? And why does it so often have to turn to sorrow? And I wanna let you go, just like a kite, let you fly into the sky. But your tail is much too long, it's much too heavy, and you can't really fly. And I find that I am tangled, oh, in your patched together string. And I find I cannot let go without first saying a few things. Out on the darkened freeway, we've got the headlights turned up high, but they only seem to blind us, 'cause there's so much fog out here tonight. All the dreams of our tomorrows and the scars of ancient kisses, the memories of our history, and all those unanswered wishes. Where does the love go? And why can't we follow? Where does the love go and why does it so often have to turn to sorrow? Thank you. Thank you very much. So here's another one. It's about relationship. But it's about relationship that never actually happened. It almost happened. And it's called Balm for the Soul. That is B-A-L-M, not B-O-M-B. Important distinction. I'm actually going to be doing this Valentine's Day show with. It's going to be a women's singer-songwriter in the round thing, and it happens to be around Valentine's Day. So they're calling it Heart of Song, and I'm a little bit worried that we're going to be expected to sing all these like happy love songs. While I have had a very happy love life, I don't tend to write happy love songs. I find the more tortured aspects of relationship more interesting to write about. So here we go. She's just looking to put a little salve on her wounds. Well, she's not even to the rebound stage yet. Just someone who can kiss her for hours and not even reach for her breast. You appeared at the right moment and your shoulder got wet, and the silent sobs, well, they sounded in your ears. Just a little bomb for her soul, someone who will make her be whole. Little bomb for her soul, yeah. Just a little bomb for her soul, someone who will make her be whole. Little bomb for her soul. It was modern, yeah, no pretty little letters with their coffee stains and finger smudges and cross-outs and misspellings. You used it, information free away, cyberspace and email, immediate gratification, urgency and escalation. Just push that button and send. She could already feel her heart starting to mend. Well, it was almost like passing notes. It was almost like you were right there, and she felt your words as they cooked. She felt like you were whispering in her ear. It was just a little bomb for her soul, someone who won't make her be whole. A little bomb for her soul, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just a little bomb for her soul, someone who won't make her be whole. A little bomb for her soul. And then when you called, your voice was thin with concern, so solemn and worried that someone's heart was gonna get burned. They're speaking in tongues now, like you did once before, a veil of concealment, and she wondered what for. You said you were choosing, and she said she was going with the flow. Well, somewhere the brakes went on, and this she knows. She felt her heart start to sink a little, but then she knew that she was ready to say she would have gone there with you, baby. Somebody would have paid. For just a little bomb for her soul, someone who won't make her be whole. Little balm for her soul, yeah, yeah. It's just a little balm for her soul. Someone who won't make her be whole. A little balm for her soul. Just a little balm for her soul. Just a little balm for her soul. Thank you very much. All right, so back to the Dulcimer, and I'm going to do one for you that is like a seasonal celebration piece, and I wrote this one. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I know what I want to do. This one's called Trinity. And this is a beautiful piece that my first life partner, Robert Omblade, wrote. May he rest in peace. And he didn't complete it before he passed. He had written 2 parts to it and was starting on a 3rd. And so together with our mentor, Billy Oskay, we wrote the 3rd part. And so the 3 of us together, I wanted to call it Trinity since we all had a hand in it. And it's after, there's a famous harp player from Ireland from the 18th century named Turlough O'Carolyn. He was a blind harpist who traveled around and played harp for his patrons all around the countryside. And he was a beautiful writer, kind of an Irish Baroque style. And so this piece is in that style. It's trying to echo the beauty of that type of, from the era, and that type of instrument and that type of music. So here it is. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm Carolyn Cruso. Here's one that I wrote after a wonderful experience in Portugal on a mountain called Peninha with a woman named Maria. So this one's called Maria de Peninha. So here's another set of traditional tunes, and these are all from Ireland. I call the set the Boys of Ballys Dare set because that's the name of the first tune. And the first tune is called the slip jig. It's a style of tune that has a special dance that goes to it. And so the time signature is in 9/8. So that means you got 3 sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 phrases. And then the second one is called a slide. And that one has 4 sets of 3, so it's called 12/8. And then I end up with a regular jig, and that's in 6/8, 2 sets of 3. So if you feel like listening, just see if you can hear that, distinguish between those pieces, go for it. If not, just relax and enjoy the tunes. Thank you, everybody. So it's just the beginning of fall here. We're starting on a new season, and it feels like a good time to start new things. So if you will humor me here, I would like to share with you a piece that's kind of a work in progress as yet, and it's called Carolyn Counts 8. And the reason it's called that is because my friend wrote this piece called Kate Counts 8, and she called it that because she counted 8 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, how you would normally count 8 in music and if you're in common time. She counted 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, which is a different way of phrasing it, right? It has a different cadence. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I played that song with her. I played flute with her on it, and we had percussion and bass, and somehow it must have seeped into my body because I wrote this piece, which doesn't have the same melody at all, but it has a similar mode, and it has that same 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 thing. So I thought I would call it Carolyn Counts 8, and here it is. Thank you very much. All right, this one's called Ethereal Cowboy. Pretty much all the songs tonight will be original unless I otherwise note. And in that case, they're typically traditional. And it's interesting, when I go back and forth between the hammered dulcimer and the guitar and voice, I feel like I'm stepping into my altered personalities. It's like I need like a different hat for each. This one I wrote on the way back from Kansas City a few years back. spicy and strange, wooing our spirits out on the range. Drinking tequila in the uptown bars, feeling kind of festive in the Mexican guitars. Ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy. Morning comes and all is good. What the future will bring is not too sure. And so he picked up his bow and his quiver of arrows. Up in the high desert, you can feel the earth way deep down in his marrow. Ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy. Night falls and he shapeshifts to crow, astride a roan horse until dawn. Waiting for a moon to rise as if we shine. Light up the canyon and unleash his white. Ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy. Dawn comes and washes gold. Oh, then again, yeah, way more bold. As town draws nearer, well, he puts on his hat, cries out a hearty hello to all the alley cats. Ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy, ethereal cowboy. You got me, you got me, you got me. Thank you so much. All right. This one's called Somebody Like You. So, normally I would have taken a break by now, but I think I'm just going to play straight through tonight. So if any of you are interested, I have CDs available over here. And there's also a tip jar there, because part of the way in which the musicians get paid here is by your own generosity. Soul Food is a major patron of the arts. They have music here like pretty much almost every day of the week practically. And they are able to support us to some degree, but the rest of it's up to you guys. So essentially part of what I'm doing here is I'm busking. And busking, if you're not familiar with that word, is the ancient art of entertaining for a receptacle for donations, with a receptacle for donations. And it should not be confused with begging, panhandling, or bumming. It's entertainment for fair exchange, and you decide what's fair. What could be more fair? That was brought to you by artist The Spoon Man, one of my dear friends. So anyway, there's the tip jar there. There's my CD thing there. And if you want to buy a CD and you need to leave before my show's over, you can self-serve. You can use cash or a check. Just make check out to me. My name's all over there. And if you would like to pay with a credit card, if you can just wait till I'm done, then we can work that out too, because I have a square. And I have so that's the CDs I have two CDs that feature guitar and vocals. It's all original songs. And then I have 2 CDs that feature instrumental music, mostly the hammer, dulcimer, also some flute and some fingerstyle guitar, solo guitar stuff. And they're all really nice albums. They're $15 or 2 for $25. And I even have cassettes. So if you still have the apparatus to play cassettes on, it's a real deal, only $5 for a cassette. I've got a mailing list up there too. If you sign it, I will send you my monthly newsletter, which tells you what I've been up to and, more importantly, where my next performances are going to be. It's a good way to keep in touch. And I'm going to go ahead and play this song for you next, called Somebody Like You. You came to me so soon after I lost my sweet love. You came knocking at my door, and I heard it from above. Oh, it was you, the sweet, sweet you. Like a gift is in the pain as I grew through it. I've had to open up to you in so many stages. Just like one of those century flowers, it takes a lot of years to bloom. Oh, and I know it hasn't been easy on you, waiting so patiently. Always 3 steps ahead of my letting go. I am so sorry, and I do feel blessed to be loved by somebody like you. Each year I go out on the road like some kind of pilgrim. Each year I go out there alone to a Mecca unknown. Oh, and each year I return a little more healed from the fires by which I was burned. I know you're getting tired, it feels like a mud we've been mired. You could hold out just a little longer, I know we could get this ring wired. We can roll on down the road together, watching the sun set in our rearview mirror and the moon rise in each other's tears. I am so sorry, and I do feel blessed to be loved by somebody like you. You got your sorrows, you can see it in your eyes. I got my losses, it's been so hard to say goodbye. Oh, and I am a nomad, traveling with words for wheels, and you are of tradition. In the past, so much is revealed, but there is this freedom that we don't have, and there is this place where we overlap. In that flying, in that garden, the garden on which we toil, yeah, one with a deep, rich, dark, fertile soil. I know it will carry us along. Well, if you're still up for the trip, we can keep on writing this song. I am so sorry, and I do feel blessed to be loved by somebody like you. Thank you. Well, we're heading into the season of October. I've seen a lot of pumpkins starting to come out, and apples are happening. Halloween decorations are showing up in the stores, as well as Halloween candy, so I'm kind of getting in the mindset of Trickster. So I thought I would sing this song called Trickster for you. It seems that most cultures across the world have this concept of the trickster in their spiritual sort of archaeology, that archetype of the trickster who kind of sets everything on its head. It makes you wonder, bye-bye, thanks for coming, good to see you again. And makes you sort of rethink things and possibly rebuild things and not take yourself so seriously. So, of course, in the Northwest Native American culture, they have Raven who stole the sun from the gods to give to humans. Coyote, similar character. Trickster, trickster on the run, dream of lightning and then come undone. What a heavy load to bear when you don't even know you're there. Trickster, 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 Mercury, Hermes, Loki. Or sometimes you play the fool, other times you break all the rules. Leave it up to us to decide which line we won't cross. Trickster, 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 Mercury, Hermes, Loki. Hey, Yoka, contrary, Raven, Crow, and Coyote, monkey, monkey, China, one sea. Oh, so wild and untamed. In your light we do not have a name. In your shadow we let go of shame and stand out in the pouring rain. Trickster, 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 Mercury, Hermes, Loki. Hey, you're the contrary, raving, growing coyote, monkey, monkey, chained all unseen. Trickster, trickster on the run, dream of lightning and then come undone. What a heavy load to bear when you don't even know you're there. Thank you very much. Woo, thank you. And now for some polkas. I'm actually not kidding. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. Well, geez, maybe I'll just play one more here and sign off for the evening. And this one is called New Joe Clark, and it's a take on Old Joe Clark, which is a traditional Appalachian tune. And I've taken it to some new places, so hence the name New Joe Clark. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure playing for you all. I want to thank Kevin Oakes on sound. Give him a big round. That's a hugely important part of any show. It's the sound, and he does a great job. And yeah, I'm Carolyn Cruso. It was great playing for you. Check out the CDs if you're interested, and sign my mailing list, and take a card. And I'll see you next time. Have a great fall.